Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts on the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious D and Double OT, Terrific Trav. How you fellas doing today?
I thought you were about to say something.
Trav, you always do it first.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't freeze up on me now.
Man, I didn't know what was going on, but I mean,
Trav usually says his line, and then I come in with the finish.
I saw.
Wow.
Hey, Peachy, you know how we do, Banks.
hey, well,
Okay.
you know, we got the Flash here, then we got Superman, and you know, speaking of Superman, joining us is one of our good friends. We had him on the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast before. We've had him come up here and review Peacemaker with us as well and react to the final episode and all that stuff. And that is director Tom White. Tom, how are you doing today?
Hey man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. And I just want to say again, Peacemaker was a great show.
It was.
If you have not seen it, go and watch it before, I don't know, Zaslav decides to take it down. I don't know.
Sure.
Go.
Yeah, you might want to see it while you can.
Do you want to taste it?
God.
Do you want to taste
Yeah,
it?
that's right.
Yeah, man. You know,
Yeah,
you never know with Warner Brothers. It could be gone tomorrow.
Yeah,
It
you
could be
never
gone
know.
tomorrow.
So today we are talking about Tom's new movie that he just directed, the Unauthorized Documentary. And before we get into this discussion, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And D, like you say every time.
Look, when you see the like button, all right, and it's telling you it's got a plan to save the world and get rid of aliens, telling you don't believe it, and click it.
Just
I
click
like
it.
that.
Just click it.
So,
Click it or ticket.
So Tom, first off,
like that.
you know, I just want to give you a pinky because like this film, it's won Best Action Adventure Short, and it's also won Best Fan Film. And I think that that's really awesome because when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was just like, yo, I can't wait to watch it. And then when I watched it, I was just like, this is really good. It left me wanting
Thank
more. So I just want to give you a pinky up to that right now.
Thank you.
At the start of this discussion. And yeah, I want to know, like, what was the process that, you know, made you want to do this movie?
Well, it's interesting because Trip Rumble, our lead, our Lex, he and I, we worked previously on a different film called Hero. I think you guys might have seen that one too.
Yes. Yeah.
And the crazy thing was, while we were shooting Hero, you know, he came to set already dressed in a full suit and everything, and he just kind of walked in the door and just we actually shot everything in the bar at like noon and everything while the restaurant was closed. And when he walked in, like the light was there and it was just a silhouette kind of there at the front, and it was just this bald figure in a suit, and he kind of stepped through and I was just like, oh my god. Dude, you look just like Lex Luthor. and like at that point in time, I had a buddy of mine, Jay Steele,
USJ
professional
Steel.
wrestler, USJ Steele, who I'd always told him, I was like, I'm gonna get you, as soon as I can find the right Lex Luthor, I'm gonna get you in a film where you play Superman and everything, and I'm gonna have the two of you there. Unfortunately, Jay wasn't able to do this one and everything there, but once I saw, that's all it took was seeing Trip one time in a suit and everything, and I said, this guy's Lex Luthor. And I like right then, I like, while I was on set for another movie, I opened up a tab in my notes, and I always like that's when I pick my projects out, they're all in my notes, like on my iPhone, and it's like I just made a little tab for Lex, and I just started throwing brainstorming ideas in there, you know, and then, you know, from there, that was just it. We made a couple of other projects, and then one day I was talking to my production designer, and she's like, what's next? And I just pulled up Lex, and I was like, I think we've got enough notes to start on Lex now, you know? And yeah, and that was it. I sent the script off to Richard, the screenwriter, or I sent the outline I had to him, because he actually wrote the script and everything from there. And yeah, we just started working on Lex, and it all kind of came together from there.
Nice. That's awesome, man. And like I love how, you know, shout out to USJ Steele, who's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yes.
I wish that I would have had the opportunity to had wrestled him, but I know he had got out of the business, like because like it was I believe it was like an injury or something like that he had to retire.
I think it was. I think it was an injury.
But he was phenomenal, man. He was really good in the ring and
great.
And I loved it.
And really cool and really cool dude. Really cool dude.
Yeah. And I love that you said that, you know, he would have been your Superman, because that's pretty much what his gimmick was when I first saw him wrestle. He would come to the ring, he would have the suit on, and then he would rip it just like Clark Kent, and then go into Superman.
And if you've seen Jay Steele, he looks like Superman.
Yeah.
You know, like he does. He just looks like Superman. Like, I think that here's the funny thing is that Mike, who ended up playing our Superman, who was phenomenal. He's great.
Yeah.
I just always, like, before I needed him to play Superman, I always envisioned him as playing like a Batman, like a Bruce Wayne character for me.
I can see that.
You know, if I ever needed that. But then it was kind of cool when I started when things with Jay weren't going to work out. And I started to need someone who looked like that. I was like, oh, well, who looks like Superman? I was like, well, technically Batman looks just like Superman with like a different hairstyle and eye color. So, you know, I went to Mike and I was like, Mike, if you can, because I had, by that point, when I found out things weren't going to work out, I had already sized the damn suit for Jay.
Oh man.
So I was like, oh no. I was like, Mike, if you can wear the suit, you got the gig. I was like, at this point, I got to save the money. So if you can wear the suit, you got the gig. And he couldn't quite fill out the suit at first, but then he was like, you know, he's a professional bodybuilder and trainer and stuff. So he was like, don't worry, just give me a couple weeks. We'll be there.
You don't need that stuffing.
Yeah. He didn't need, and he didn't, man. When he showed up to shoot that first day, because he had his hair cut and everything there. He showed up that first day, and he went and he put on the suit, and then he came out because that was actually our very first shoot day. Was the boardroom scene, and he so it called for Superman. We got to see him, and he walked out there, and that's why I think we got one of my favorite shots of him is when he's kind of standing there after everybody's leaving, and he kind of just eyeballs down Mercy out the door, and then he turns and looks at Lex, and he's standing there, and it's Superman, and you've got the American flag behind him and everything. And it's like it's just, and he's the most colorful thing in the room, and it's just kind of like this cool thing. And I was just like, Mike, man, you're him. You look like Superman. It's just so really cool to see that, you know, kind of up in my brain, and then see it actually, you know, on the screen that we were able to pull it off.
Yeah, and not that I don't want people to watch this review, because I do, but I kind of hope that they watch the movie first before watching this, because I didn't expect to see Superman. So when he showed up, I was like,
really?
Yeah, no,
you didn't.
I didn't, because it gave me the feel of like when Titans first came out and like Batman wasn't in like the first season or whatever. So it's like, Batman gonna show up, and then, you know,
so Superman was a real surprise for you.
Yeah, dude, for real. Like, I paused it and I was like, oh shit, Superman's here. I had to collect myself.
Yeah, me personally, I really enjoyed the exchange between, you know, when you get a chance to watch this, you'll see it. But there's a really cool exchange between, you know, Soup and Lex. You know, if anybody who knows anything about the comics, they always have these moments. And Tom, kudos to you. You were able to pull it off, and it felt authentic. So
thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
No problem.
This is definitely something, and you know, we're not just sitting here saying this because we're friends with Tom, but like, it's a really good movie, and like I said at the start of this thing, like, I want to see more. So it's just like, I'm hoping to see more. I'm hoping that you know, that this blows up, because it's just like, you just never know. Like, we live in a world now where it's just like, it's cool to be a nerd, and like, you know, so many people have these superhero projects out there, and we talk about this on our reviews all the time, where you have people that make fan films and they look better than the movies that come out on TV, or, you know, the TV shows that come out on Netflix and whatnot. So it's just like I said, like, I thought that the costume designs looked sweet. I thought that the choreography with everybody, like the dialogue, I thought everything was on point, man. So like I highly recommend this movie to everybody that watches this review. And I just want to applaud myself for not spoiling anything, because it's just like there's a ticking in my head saying, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Yeah, don't say it. But Trav or D, like, is there anything else that y'all wanted to say?
I just want to piggyback off first. I want to piggyback off you saying about the fan stuff, because you know the Batman Bat in the Sun is super popular, and they got a second one coming out. But I want to know from you, Tom, where did you derive some of that story from? We're not going to dive into the storyline of it, because like Banks said, I don't want to give spoilers, but where is this something that you straight up created on your own, fan fiction type stuff, or did you pull from certain comic storylines?
Here's the most interesting thing is that the entire idea when I was trying to come up with the script came from a panel. Just a couple of panels. I don't even know what it's from. It's actually my friend Ezra Peterson is the one that gave me these particular panels, because it was kind of like this idea that I had where I was like, I think it'd be cool to kind of do like a kind of like a fan film kind of web series thing off of the DC Trinity with a couple of panels that'll create a story, you know. And what I was planning to do is recreate those particular panels as kind of like a fan service kind of thing. But he provided me, because he's a big Superman fan, he provided me something for Superman that he thought was good. And in those panels, because I don't know what comic it's from, Superman is confronting Lex, and this will sound familiar. Superman is confronting Lex about an alien weapon and everything that he's had. That he's basically saying that, Lex, I know you did this. I know where I got this from. I know this was you. But he's also pretty much pointing out to him that he can't prove it. And so Lex in the same breath is kind of like, so tough shit, man. You know? and like the thing was, like, the panels were supposed to make me, you know, kind of have this thing for Superman. But when I read it, I was more like, just the balls. Like, you know, the balls on this guy to look at the most powerful being in the known universe and say, F you, dude. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got shit on me, cop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do anything about it. Even if you know. Can't prove it. Yeah, even if you know, you can't do anything about it. And even if you think you can prove it, do you know how long I'll have that wrapped up in litigation, my guy?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yep. You know, I'm rich and privileged. I'm not going to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's the way that I took it there. And that's kind of always was the thing that was, you know, so different and important about the character for Lex when it came down between him and Superman. Where Clark Kent was, you know, from this blue collar family. He literally came from a farm and everything there. He moved to the big city, and, you know, oh gosh, you know, G. Willikers, you know, he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? And then he's also just happens to be this super omnipresent being. You know what I'm saying? But then you have Lex Luthor, who, you know, in most stories was born into privilege, always wealthy, you know, inherited this company, or, you know, ruthlessly stole it from his father, depending on which storyline you go with, you know. But he never loses. Even when Lex loses, he finds some way to win.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, and in the thing that I always loved about him is, like, my favorite superhero is Batman. And in many ways, Lex Luthor is just evil Batman.
Exactly. I've always said that about him. That's true.
And that's kind of my thing that I've always said when people go, you know, do the Batman versus Superman debate. And I was like, I don't know, you know, my thing was Batman's a great foil to Superman, because Superman's arch nemesis is just Batman without a costume. You know, he's just up front and center. And, you know, so yeah, and it's just something that Superman can't compete with. And for me, those are always some of my favorite Superman stories, ones where he has all this power and everything, but there's not much he can really do about it because Lex is never a problem that he can ever just punch in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
He's
he would be looked at as the monster if he was to do
it,
something like that.
exactly. It's kind of it's an interesting way to look at it. The idea that he can never really retaliate with Lex the way that he'll feel the need to. Like Batman always has that thing about not killing the Joker, but he always gets to get a lot of licks in. He gets damn close. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he gets real close to it. Superman never can do that. So
Nope.
Lex in some ways Lex never seems to get his comeuppance because all you really want is to see someone whoop his ass. you know,
For sure.
and that's not in the cards. That's not how things work out for Lex Luthor.
Tom, one final thing that I wanted to say, not necessarily a question, but just want to give kudos to whomever is in charge of your music selection, your score.
Oh
I
yeah.
really
Yes.
enjoyed the score. It fit
Thank
right
you.
into, DC
Thank
comic stuff or DC movie stuff, and I
That
really
is
enjoyed it.
that is my man Brandon Lau.
Yeah, give him a shout out.
Brandon is fantastic. He works on so many bigger projects than mine. Um, but you know, just like my cinematographer Sergio and my writer Richard, and I'm like, once I found him, I was like, I don't ever want to lose you. Don't leave me. Don't ever leave me. I was like, you're the Hans Zimmer to my Christopher Nolan. You know what I mean?
Heard
Like,
that. I hope they're
like
with you for a while, Tom.
yeah, I
Hope they're
hope
with
so
you for a
too.
long
Because
time.
the thing that I like about them the most is that I'm a fan.
Mhm.
Like I had spoken, and Brandon actually reached out to me first. He found I can't remember how Brandon found me, but he hit me up on IG, which was
Mhm.
interesting because it was at a time that I rarely ever used or checked IG,
Mm.
and like I just had been by happenstance had checked it. Like even then, at that point, he had like sent the message like 10 days ago. You know what I'm saying? But still, I saw it. I reached back out to him, and we talked a bit from there, and you know, from there, I just still didn't have much for him, like anything for him yet. You know what I mean? I wasn't working on anything at that time, but then eventually I was, and I said, you know what, I need original music for this particular film, and that first film was That Time of Year, um, which I think should be online sometime in the next week or so.
Hell yeah.
But Brandon that was the first time we worked together with Brandon, and I got to tell you, the thing I love about Brandon is that I will be sitting there watching our film cut together uh, as I want it to look, but something just won't work. It won't be there yet because it doesn't sound right. And that's always the thing. It doesn't sound right. There's no music. There's nothing that moves along all of those emotions and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll get the score back from Brandon, and then I'll always be like hitting up, Sergio, and telling him, it's like, oh my God, Sergio, you gotta. I've had to export it with the score in there, yada yada yada, so you can watch it, so you can feel what I feel. You know, now
Hell yeah.
now that Brandon's music's been added to this and everything, because he really does just up the ante of the
Projects.
visuals of the projects, the whole
Yeah.
thing, the whole film. You know, before I was, using, licensed music and stuff like that, that I could get and everything, and stuff that I could get a hold of. And but that first time working with Brandon, where actually I just got to sit down and kind of explain to him by emotional beats and everything there, theming wise, what I was thinking about. And, kind of when we were talking about, Lex, I was like, what I want from Lex is, I was like, Lex is like Kanye, he's big. You know what I'm saying? So I want that sound when, that theme for Lex when he hits, that's got to be big. It's got to, it's got to be epic, but still kind of hip hop, So, and
Yeah, that beat was fire.
yeah,
Yeah, I told you.
So fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
sweet.
Like, I just think that everything about this was really good, and I think that once
Thank
it's released and when people get a chance to watch it, it's just like they're going to love it just as much as we do. So, Tom,
Thank
I
you.
want to ask you if you could just tell everybody, like, when is Lex coming out and where can they watch it at?
Well, Lex, is going to be out. I believe we've decided on September 28th in DC Comics. That's Lex Luthor's actual birthday.
Nice.
So we're going to use that as our launch date, and we'll put Lex out there. It'll be on our Channel 757 webpage at channel757.com. On our Vimeo, of course, we'll link to it from our social medias. And of course, you can find it on the Channel 757 YouTube page as well.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Tom, thank you so much again for coming up
Thanks,
here.
guys. I really appreciate it.
Oh, hell yeah.
For sure. Hey, look, that's what we do
Hell
up
yeah.
here, man. Hey, we're the good guys, and we're not like that guy that's in Iceland, and that's all I'll say about that. So, Tom, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you.
My name is Tom White. You can find me on Instagram at TW_channel CH757. You can find me on Facebook at Channel 757. You can find me on my website, the best place to reach me at channel757.com. Yeah, check us out. Awesome. Follow us wherever you're not following us already.
Hell yeah.
Trav, let them know where they can find you at, sir.
Right, I'm on the Instagram at ZK Audio. I'm on the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK, where I'm on Letterboxd ranking and rating my daily movie watches.
And you can find me as always at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. And Banks, look, you might need another hero, but where can they find another one?
Hey, you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this review/discussion of Lex. And make sure that you check it out when it comes out. Make sure that you check out some more reviews that we have here on the channel. We'll bring Tom back up here to talk about the movie again once it comes out, so then that way I can finally talk about the spoilers without getting in trouble. Make sure you check out some interviews that we have here on the channel. Check out our podcast, where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the description, and then the video of that interview is up here on Friday. So with that being said, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.